Good morning, Barry Bryson. Thanking you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. We are continuing our study of 3rd John as a part of our larger study of the neglected books of the New Testament. And as we introduced 3rd John yesterday, we mentioned that this letter, unlike 2nd John, is to a particular individual, a man named Gaius. And we've already met almost certainly 2 Gaiuses in the New Testament before we meet this Gaius. And I think this Gaius is probably a third man altogether. He is not of the generation that John is, which becomes clear in the way he is addressed in the letter, which would mean this Gaius is not nearly old enough to be the Gaius that we met 60 or 70 years earlier in the books of Acts, Romans, and 1 Corinthians. We also talked about the fact that it has so many similarities. The farewell is almost identical to the one in second John. The theme of love and the way that love is expressed and phrased are nearly identical. It's about hospitality. We've said that 2nd John is to a woman and 3rd John is to a man. 2nd John is about hospitality extended when it ought not be. 3rd John is about hospitality not extended when it ought to be. 2nd John is about the issue of hospitality as it relates to false teachers. This is about the issue of hospitality as it relates to male ego. And we've talked and we'll continue to talk about how completely damaging that can be, which is really the topic of this book. When we studied 2nd John, we talked about those 3 words that were so important around which the letter is structured: love, abide, and truth. This has one theme, and the theme is love. And we have both major words used for love in the New Testament. We have agape love and phileo love. Not just, the sacrificial, selfless love that Jesus gave for us, but just the warm-hearted friendship and connection that we have because we're friends. We're brothers and friends through Jesus Christ. And that's all here. And that's not happening. And it's not happening because of male ego. What I want to do is to read verses 1 through 4 today. It's similar to 2nd John, but then again, it's unique in all the New Testament. So let's read 1 through 4. The old man, the elder in my version, to the beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I pray that in all respects you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. For I was very glad when brethren came and bore witness to your truth, which is, you are walking in truth. I have no greater joy than this, to hear of my children walking in the truth. So we have love and truth, right? And we have walking instead of abiding. So there's that connection, but a little different shading. And love, of course, is going to be throughout. We still have the walking and something like the abiding here in the introduction. He identifies himself as the elder, which, as I said when we talked about 2nd John, I think just means the old man. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's an elder of a church somewhere. He doesn't have any authority as an elder of another congregation over a man in this congregation. But as an apostle, who's also an old man in the faith, he does have he has authority, and he's exercising that authority in this letter. So I'm the old man, and again, I don't want to go back and give you all the reasons why, but I believe clearly this is John the Apostle writing this letter. He doesn't say grace and peace or grace and mercy and peace. I mean, even Jude says that, but he doesn't. That's not here. He says something really unique, which has led some to believe that this is not necessarily John, but someone wanting to sound like John. He talks about your prosperity. I pray that in all respects you may prosper. And he means personal prosperity, because you're already prospering, not only prosper, but be in good health, just as your soul prospers. So his his spiritual prosperity is not in question. This prosperity is actual prosperity, or earthly prosperity, maybe is a better word, and good health. We don't have a hello like that anywhere else in the New Testament in the letters. He confirms in verse 3 that I know you're walking in truth. Reports have been brought back to me. And already there's a level of accountability that's being embedded in this text, because John knows what's going on there. People have told him nothing is going to be done in secret. Whatever Diotrephes has done and whatever the people who support him have done, folks know about it. I know about it. Other Christians know about it, and other congregations know about it. So they're not going to get away with this. And then, but this is really all joy. I mean, that's just a subtext embedded in this loving. Really, it's more personal and homey, for lack of a better word, than any other introduction or hello in any of the other letters, even to Timothy. There's just so much unabashed and unadulterated appreciation, love and appreciation. He's got no problems, none whatsoever, and no worries about Gaius. He's got a problem with the people Gaius is dealing with. And then verse 4, such a wonderful, beautiful verse. I have no greater joy than this, to hear of my children walking in truth. My children, in referring to Gaius as his child, either means that he's much older in the faith or that he's personally baptized him, or both. So anyway, that's how this letter begins, and it's heartfelt, it's warm, it is unclouded by anything. But then we find out as the text goes on that there are problems, and I don't know exactly what he expects of Gaius, what steps he expects him to take to communicate this, or to, really take action against Diotrephes and what he's doing. We'll talk more about that as we conclude our study of 3 John. Tomorrow we're going to look at verses 5 through 8, which is really a second introduction. We have the hello in verses 1 through 4, and then the introduction to the topic. And this is what ought to happen before we're finding out what doesn't happen. It isn't happening. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll talk some more tomorrow.